We're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello there and welcome to Marketing Edge on TV, Nigerians' leading initiative in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute wholesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix encompassing thorough and in-depth or aimed at promoting the brand of the year. I'm Ogalia Bikele Mafu.
It's insightful, it's exciting, it's enriching. It's Marketing Edge on TV, a half-hour TV show on the business of brand management and the management of brand business. Marketing Edge on TV is a potpourri of juicy and exclusive industry news on brands, advertising, media, PR, branding focus, industry conversation, and the entire gamut of integrated marketing communications business. It's a business show with glamour and grandeur. We serve you hot and sizzling with all ingredients in the mix. Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Good to have you back. First on Marketing Edge on TV is brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing, advertising, and communication in Nigeria and around the globe. Now on brand news. The Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, has indicted multinational companies and conglomerates over the refusal by the Advertisers Association of Nigeria, ADVAN, to support the ongoing reforms in the Nigerian advertising subsector tagged the Advertising Industry Standard Practice (ISOP). Declaring its position faulting the rejection of ISOP by ADVAN, APCON, the regulatory agency of the federal government, said the formulation of ISOP followed all constitutional requirements in due consultation with all stakeholders. The advertising regulator, in a press statement signed by the registrar, Dr. Olalekan Fadolapo, noted that ISOP was instituted to revolutionize the advertising industry in Nigeria and set it apart with international standards, adding that the industry standard of practice is aimed at eliminating sharp practices and unethical behaviors that stifle the growth of the industry and country at large. The Ekiti State government has unveiled its plans for the 34th edition of the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST 2021. The plans were made known at the World Press Conference held recently in the state in a bid to keep the public abreast of the preparations. The festival, which is slated for 13th to 20th November 2021, is aimed towards uniting the cultural entities that form the celebrated diversity of the Nigerian nationhood. Highlighting the key points of its plan at the press conference, Professor Rasak Ojo Bakare, the Commissioner for Arts, Culture and Tourism Ekiti State, said the vision of the state government is not just to host festivals, but to set new standards for future hosting by other states. One of the Nigerians' leading creative advertising agencies, known as Aster Communications Limited, has emerged as the only West African agency to win an award at the recently concluded Laurie's Creative Week 2021, the most coveted award event across Africa and the Middle East. Aster Communications was awarded a bronze in the print category for a campaign called the Stop Cut Project for ASEAN and NGO. The campaign, which is focused on tackling the age-old cultural practice of female genital mutilation by creating awareness about its existence and harm, aimed to enlighten the enablers, perpetrators, and sympathizers of the act, as well as its consequences on the mental health of victims and legal consequences for the enablers and perpetrators. Practitioners in the out-of-home subsector have expressed satisfaction in the performance of outdoor activities in the last quarter, as companies and brands have shown keen interest in exploring outdoor advertising for campaigns. According to the professionals, the previous quarters in the year have recorded poor business outlook due to the effect of the pandemic, But with the relaxation on COVID-19 lockdown, business in every sectors of the economy have been recording improvements in their marketing efforts. While expressing confidence that growth index will increase significantly with more and more clients patronizing the out-of-home advertising, the OOH professionals attested that the present quarter would definitely outweigh that of the last quarter. Leading and pioneering network providers MTN Nigeria and Airtel have been honored with the awards of Industry Sustainers Pioneers for leading the revolution and unprecedented move that skyrocketed Nigeria to be named among the leading market in global information and communications technology. This award was conferred on them at the just concluded special summit tagged 20 Years of Telecommunication Revolution in Nigeria in commemoration of the 2 decades journey in the telecom sector. The telecom sector, since its inception 20 years ago, has played a greater role in Nigeria's economic diversification, prominent amongst in terms of education, health, financial services, and transportation sectors of the economy. Well, that was brand news. Next is brand in focus after this break.
Mr. Kaku like to kaku. Every day must do kaku. Yeah, if you want me go kaku. If you want save me go kaku. Every time he like to reason. Hebrew free things he go by easy. Glow is there for you in every season. You don't have to over easy. Glow, better get that. Glow, oh that better. Glow, better get that. Glow, oh that better.
You don't have to be a Mr. Kaku when it comes to data. Get a Glow MiFi for 12,000 Naira and get up to 60 gigabytes data free.
Will this penalty be the decider? What's going through the player's mind here? You could cut the tension with a knife. Is there one more twist in this long, rocky road to the final? And here's the kick, and he scores! They've taken the win, they're through.
Don't worry, my boy. There's always the next time.
It's into Igalo from the wing.
Join the winning team and stream every match with Glow special data plans. For everything Glow, dial *777#. Great supporters of football. Glow.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Now on brand in focus. The world may have slowed down following the crisis occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic, but marketing has definitely not. Instead, brands have amplified their marketing efforts through digital, thereby increasing the need for celebrities and influencers to help create considerable awareness. According to Charles Akin and Martin Block in their seminal work, Effectiveness of Celebrity Endorsers, Journal of Advertising Research, 1983, Celebrity endorsements are a popular way for marketers to promote their brand's products and services. By transferring the positive image and characteristics of a celebrity onto a brand, marketers aim to trigger customers' intent to purchase or use the endorsed product or service. However, despite the effectiveness of celebrity endorsement, only a few celebrities are squeaky clean. From salacious stories to rape to drug to stealing and fisticuffs, research has shown that firms tend to suffer financially when a celebrity endorser becomes mired in scandal. But how companies react when an endorser is caught up in scandal determines the success or failure of their brands. Companies that engage with a situation and handle it well don't just curtail the bleeding, they come out ahead. Recently, one of the African's A-list celebrities publicly confessed and apologized to her team and fans following the release of a sex tape, which she hinted in an interview was being used to blackmail her. Meanwhile, no financial statement has been issued by any of the brands she endorses in or outside Nigeria. This invokes a fundamental question: how much do Nigerian brands worry about endorser scandals? Understandably, established brands tend to evaluate a crisis by seeking advice from the marketing team, ad agencies, insurance carriers, and lawyers before taking a decision on an endorser to avoid a rush to judgment. Before now, A-list celebrities had an aura of invisibility. Social media has changed things pretty quickly. It makes bad news travel more quickly. Consequently, advertisers look differently at the endorsement journey. Moral clauses or new endorsers have gone from being very general, if they existed at all, to being highly detailed. Although different events affect brands differently, marketers now perform much more due diligence when selecting celebrities to minimize the risk of crisis. An extramarital affair might not be as damaging as a criminal offense. In fact, some brands such as Nike are known for hiring controversial celebrities, and when something happens with one, it is much more patient, while others are more likely to cut off and run. For example, after a photo of swimmer Michael Phelps smoking marijuana went viral, Visa publicly supported him. Kellogg let his contract expire, and other companies stayed silent. In all, the best approach is to invest in the selection process of a celebrity or influencer and then draw up a contract with a strong moral clauses and the ability to exit quickly if necessary. But that was Branding Focus. Next is Industry Conversation, where we have conversations and discussions with industry thought leaders who have been tremendously relevant in the business of brand management and, of course, in the management of brand business. Well, today on Industry Conversation, we'll be speaking with the lead consultant at Aster Integrated Marketing Limited, Mrs. TOLULOPE MEDEBEM, after this break.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. Eat a fun face, Sabi. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you, no do pass me your power. You want to show yourself, oh.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Here today, gone tomorrow. 'Cause you volatile like the water, and you promise what you don't know. Sometimes it's right and then it's so wrong. them go do like say them why. Go promise you the world. Brother, all now wash it. Up all no be open eye. I see no be water. Like he no be letter.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Hello there and welcome to Industry Conversation, a segment on Marketing Edge on TV, where we interact with industry thought leaders who have been in the business of brand management and the management of brand business. Where today on Industry Conversation, we have with us the CEO and lead consultant of Aster Integrated Marketing Limited, Mrs. TOLULOPE MEDEBEM. So pleased to have you with us on Industry Conversation.
Nice to be here as well.
Such a pleasure to have you also. I know you are a very versatile industry player, and I know we'll learn a lot in this conversation.
I hope so.
Well, the conversation has always been about the pandemic, and I know that every sector of the nation's economy has been adversely, affected by the pandemic. As a player in the experiential, sector, how would you assess the impact so far?
Okay, so the impact so far is right now where we're at today is actually much better. If this question was asked last year, which was, the impact was devastating for almost everyone. And of course, it had to be. The COVID impacted mostly on us because we're direct engagement, almost physical, hands-on, touch, direct communication with consumers and all of that. And if we were not interacting in any form, physical and social distancing, we were actually all indoor. So there were no activities, either personal, corporate, or whatever. There were actually no activities. So if this question had been asked last year, then I would have said devastating. But this year, of course, it's getting better. Things are opening up, activities are happening, people are going out, people are convening and all of that. So it's much better. It could be better. It's getting better. And we're all hopeful, honestly. Everybody's keeping fingers crossed, and we're hopeful that it gets better with the vaccinations, with people being aware of hopefully keeping safety and safe distance. We're trying to also integrate that into all the activities. You are aware of event centers having a certain number for events. Activations also, people have to take some of those safety elements into consideration. So I think it's getting better, and we're hopeful for a better future.
Okay, let's look at the experiential ecosystem, marketing ecosystem pre-COVID. How would you assess it generally in Nigeria?
Pre-COVID. So right now, the experiential ecosystem, so to say, was within the marketing communication sector, had as much as it's still underexplored, so to say, also was becoming, because one of the things being on XMAN, the Experiential Marketing Association committees, different committees and all of that, you get to learn a lot more, and you get to find out that what we actually contribute to the economy in terms of freelance hire that we do, in terms of activities and all of that we run, is actually a very major impact on marketing communication ecosystem, so to say. Okay. And when you take that out of the whole system, it's kind of like a chunk, you understand? So pre-COVID, I think within the marketing communication ecosystem, we probably would have been doing something of, say, like, to be a bit more on the optimistic side, I would have been looking at us doing like 50% of that ecosystem. I'm sure a lot of people would argue with that. But the truth about it is, when you look in terms of activities, when you look in terms of budgets and all of that, you actually know that some companies, world over, a lot of companies have actually put more into their experiential marketing budget Of course, that's not the same here, but even at that, it was actually substantial to an extent pre-COVID.
Okay. So how would you compare the market here and, globally?
Well, we're growing. It's a developing market here. It's picking up every day. In most things, as with most parts of the world, but the good thing about it is that it's a global world now. So as much as things are happening there, it's almost directly impacted here. I mean, pre-COVID, they were already running virtual activities and all of that all over the world. Whether or not we liked it, it became a thing here. And we're also running virtual activities, we're running hybrid activities and all of that. So the truth about it is, being a global world, whatever is happening internationally, as much as possible, to also have some form of edge, to also have some form of what's the word, life. Yes. You obviously need to tap into whatever it is that is going out in the world. And unlike before, that would have taken a while to either access that, that innovation or that function, it's almost like right there at your fingertips, because like I said, it's a global world. And I mean, a lot of people are going for trainings when you can't go, thanks to COVID. There are a lot of online things that you learn and all of that. So I think I don't think we're doing so bad.
Okay. Well, one thing that has, been made realistic to us all businessmen and women is the fact that there has been, a transition from traditional form of media to digital. So how would you say technology has helped to, assist your business or the experiential marketing, system?
Again, back to, I will go back to COVID as well. Ideally, experiential marketing, part of experiential marketing also would be some form of digital, because obviously you need to amplify whatever activities that you're doing to the world, leveraging digital in terms of social media, in terms of the Internet of Things and all of that. But then with the advent or with the pandemic, it became integrated, because then you had to also, apart from amplifying, you had to then integrate the immediate too. And so when you're integrating it, you're also amplifying. So then you needed what? Technology. And then aside of technology, then you also look at the Internet of Things. Whilst you are recording, you're looking at, how am I going to get this across? What am I doing with this? So when you're doing that, you bring in together different elements of technology. And every day things are being developed that actually makes technology integral to experiential. Yes. I mean, I received an email recently about I don't know if I'll call it an app, but essentially what it's trying to do is to even make your virtual activities more realistic in terms of turnaround time with the consumers, how they get to engage more. You have things like the Grammys and all of that, actually having virtual runways and all of that. Wow. You have them, pardon?
I said that's interesting.
You understand? So these are the things, and at the end of the day, in technology integrates all of this for us. And hey, whether or not we like it, it's something that has evolved. It's something that's integrated into what we do. And it's something that if you want to move on, they say innovate or die. And integrating that into whatever it is that you do also adds on or ensures that you're innovating and you're growing.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome to know. Well, moving further, let's look at how all of this has affected the client and agency's relationship.
Okay, so one of the things I then found out or realized is, I'm not sure if you use the word relationship, but using us as a company, I can say that one of the things that has kept us in business so far during the pandemic, and even as we speak right now, has pretty much been relationship.
Okay.
All through the pandemic, towards after we all resumed, and we all sat down in our first meeting when we resumed, I think that was sometime in May. The resumption for most people was May 4 or something, and then we came in a week or 2 weeks after that. And we all sat down in the boardroom and looked at ourselves. So guys, what next? And, well, we don't know, but we'll see how it goes. And then we put through calls. Oh, so we're back, we were still working. And most of our clients at that point were actually working from home, so to say. And then we started to get calls. So we need to do stuff. We were not presenting stuff. If we had to present, it was online and all of that. But at that point, the people that actually kept us working were those clients that we actually have had relationships with. And strangely, this year, based on word of mouth and relationships, not like we were working with them before, we got a couple of new clients as well. And like I say to people, whether or not we like it, collaborations are a major element in where we are at today. We all need to come together to find ways that we can collaborate to ensure that we all grow. Because at the end of the day, if somebody holds on to everything and thinks that you will grow alone, whether or not you like it, down the line somehow, it's going to affect not only you, but everybody else. But when we're able to come together, do collaborations, work together, of course we're competition, but working together also means that we're putting back into the ecosystem that you mentioned earlier. And then we're all able to grow and develop not only our personal businesses, but we're developing the industry and we're also developing the country as a whole at the end of the day.
Okay. So what would be your position on the decision of some of our clients, your clients, to reduce advertising spend, or perhaps to redirect direct advertising spend to other areas where they feel that they will get more value for their money?
Well, there's nothing, honestly, we can say or do about that, because you use the word where they feel they will get more value for their money. And at the end of the day, it all goes back to one thing that I always say to my colleagues in the office, as well as my colleagues generally. Okay. At the end of the day, if the client actually feels that you are of value to them, you become not only an agency, you become a partner. What they will probably want to do is be how do we readjust to fit everybody in. But if they look at you and think that you're of no value, then they can do that cut. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And that then goes back to that relationship that we had mentioned earlier. Because for me, relationship, and I say to my people that our clients are not just clients. They're not people, yes, they pay our bills, but that's not what it is. As far as we're concerned, most of the people that we work with are our partners. And in being partners, it's a symbiotic relationship. So we get to understand ourselves, we get to get into ourselves and all of that, and we get to deliver some level of value, such that at the end of the day, if they have to make cuts, we will not be the first.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
But that's much we can take on Marketing Edge on TV. Well, to join us again same time next week for another exciting conversation. I'm Ogali Abekele Maferu. Bye for now.
TVC News first with breaking news.
We cover the big political stories in Nigeria, but people want more than just politics.
Business news, sports naturally, but you need news to live by also.
Stories about education, health, personal finance, and hey, even lifestyle news.
Newspaper reviews, travel news, and much more.
Nigeria, it's more than just politics. It's life.
Start your day with us every weekday.
TVC News Breakfast. First, fast, balanced, and accurate.
TVC News first with breaking news.
With all the health advice out there, it's almost impossible to make sense of all the noise. BBC Life Clinic aims to sift through the noise, hullabaloo, and clatter, so the experts can be heard. BBC Life Clinic.